was sworn in on St. Patrick's Day, 1943.
Oh, no kidding.
My name is Marian Naish Keller, and I enlisted in the WAACs, and I was sworn in on St. Patrick's Day in 1943. And then a couple weeks later, I was assigned to Camp Ruston, Louisiana for my basic training. And when I went on that trip, I had a beautiful train ride. We went to Albany, we went all across New York State up to Buffalo, then through Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, and out to Chicago, Illinois. And then we went south along the Mississippi. And it was flood time, and when we were going on the train, it looked like we were right in the middle of the ocean because the water was so flooded. And then we did stop at St. Louis and had a rest and switched trains. And from there, we went on down to Memphis, Tennessee. And from Memphis, we went to Little Rock. But when we were waiting at the station, a train came and rammed into our train. Just shook us up good, but nobody on our train got hurt, but the conductor, the engineer on the other train got killed, so we had to wait over there till they cleaned up that mess. And then we went on to Little Rock, Arkansas. And when we got in Little Rock, Arkansas, the train had to change again, so they took us all to the USO. And when we got to the USO, it was in a bank building, and the women's restroom was in one of the vaults. And then when we came out of there, there was a group of ladies there, and they said they would like to take us on a tour of Little Rock. So they took us around in their cars and showed us all the high spots of Little Rock, the Capitol, and the schools and different things like that. And then they told us to come to this one lady's house, and they all had made salads and sandwiches and that, and we had a big picnic in this lady's yard. And then when it was time for us to get on the train, they took us back to the train, and we got the train back down to Louisiana. And then when we got down to Louisiana, then we got a bus, went to this place, and it was set up for a prisoner of war camp. And it was outside of Ruston. We went past Grambling University, which is a university for the colored people. And when we got to the base there, they said, we don't want anybody trying to walking into town, because we don't think you should go walking through this area. So we never could go into town, just walk in. And when they had things there, they'd come and take us in to the school for, there was Louisiana Tech there, Ag and Tech, and they used to come and put on different programs for us. If they had a musical program they were going to present, they'd come up there and put it on for us, or a play, or different things. And then they'd have us come into their school for different programs, entertainment. And this place we went at Ruston was set up for a prisoner of war camp. It had all the barbed wire all around it, and the big towers where they could watch over. And the barracks were the tar paper covered buildings. And I said the latrine was two rows, 25 toilet seats, back to back, no partitions. And then they had the wash basins along the wall. And the shower was one big room, and it had just the shower heads coming out. There was no partitions there either. No privacy. And but we had nice officers, and we had pretty good meals considering how things were. And we had for our drill field, it was an old sugarcane field, and one of them was a cotton field, and we had all that stubble to trip on, and it was so hot and so dusty and everything, but we made it. And then we got our orders, and I was sent to Roswell, New Mexico. So I had another nice train ride. I went all the way across Oklahoma, the whole width of Oklahoma, and then part of Texas, and then over to New Mexico. I can't think of the name of the place where we had to wait for a train going north and south in order to get to Roswell, so we were stuck out there, parked the night, and we had to wait till the morning till the train come down. And there was a station there, but it wasn't open. We just sat around there and waited. And then we got down in Roswell, and we thought, boy, we had a palace down there. They had just built a 2-story building for us, and we had shower stalls, and a nice latrine with private things. We thought we had a palace, and we had a nice mess hall, and that was nice. And then we had when we went to get our different duties, and they gave us different tests. And I had been an Eagle Scout, and when they asked us if we knew the Morse code and things like that, and I could do that. So then I got a job working in one of the control towers there. And this place was so flat, sand, and just as flat as could be. We could see a mountain 150 miles away, and that was in California. I think it's El Capitan. And it was a nice place, but like I said, it was about 15 miles from the city. And but I worked in the control tower for a while, and then after a while, they started getting these people from other places and men from other places, and they had barracks for them that we would have to walk past if we went to the control tower. So then they figured they better put us someplace near the main part of the camp there, and so I got assigned to the message center. So.
What did you do in the message center?
Well, we had to keep track of all the different messages that was sent, say the orders that came, like from one department to another, or to certain people, you know, the directors or the head. We had to keep track of all those things and then put them in a separate pile so that when the person came around, we could deliver them to each place where it's supposed to go.
Now, were they flying in and out of there every day?
Oh yes, that was a training center for bombardiers and for navigators. That was a school for that.
So they had bombers going in and out of there all the time?
You know, I mean, they had the planes there, and they had them going out. And, all the time they were going in and out, and navigators and all different things. And the one place where they had this, what do they call it? I can't think of, a little thing that you sit in, and that's how they teach the fellows the navigation.
A simulator?
Yeah, like a simulator, and you got in there, and it.
Link trainer.
A
Link.
A link trainer?
Link.
Yeah,
L-I-N-K trainer.
That's what it was. I couldn't think of it. Yeah, they had one of them, and when we didn't have nothing to do, we would get in there and try doing playing around with it. Yeah, but it was fun. It was a nice place. Everybody was good. We had good food and everything. It was a lot better than when we were in the basic training. I used to drink milk home or tea, and we didn't have that. We had coffee, and ugh. That was terrible. And they didn't, the meals weren't that great. But when we went out there, first meal we had a nice baked potato and a nice big steak. We had lots of steak out there. It was so good. But no, basic was terrible because it was so hot and they couldn't keep things too good back in those days.
How long were you out in New Mexico?
Well, I wasn't there really too long because I went and I got married. And then I got out, and let's see, I was there from, I don't remember how long I was there. Huh? Yeah, about 4 months I was there.
And now, who did you marry?
I married Otto Moore. Picture.
And that was your husband? Did you meet him there?
No, I met him back here in New York State.
Oh.
But he came out there to get married. No, he used to, when I met him, I used to go to see my sister who lived down in New York. She was a nurse and she was a supervisor at Triborough Hospital. And we used to go down to visit her quite a bit. And I met him, he was on a train. He was an NP on the train. So I met him there and we used to always race back and forth. And this is how I looked when I was in service.
Very distinguished looking.
But I'll tell you one thing, when we went in the service, they said, don't take a lot of clothes with you because when you get there, you will be issued your uniform. That's a big joke. I had a little suit that I had bought for Easter, and so I wore that because when I left here, we had big snowbanks and that, and so I figured, well, I'd probably be cool there. But when I got down to basic training, we didn't get our clothes, and I spent my time in that wool suit during my basic training. And finally, we did get some uniforms, but they were what they called fatigues, and they were green and white striped seersucker dresses that buttoned down the front. Then they had big bloomers, and when I said bloomers, I mean bloomers, that we wore under them. And I never did have a complete uniform. This here I had, when I got married, my commanding officer, she let me take her jacket so I would have a complete uniform.
I noticed you have a picture of your wedding. Could you show us that?
Oh, sure. And these girls, one slept on one side of me in the barracks, and the other one slept on the other side. And the fellow is beside my husband is Jack Bergeron, and he used to sing in the chapel choir, and I used to sing in the choir too when I was there. And the other fellow is the chaplain. It's John Bryant.
Did he marry you?
Yeah.
The chaplain on
That's
the
the
right?
chaplain, yeah. Yeah. They were all very nice people there. I enjoyed singing in the choir because they had a lot of fellows, but they didn't have too many women in it, but it was nice. We always sat up in the balcony in back of everybody.
How long was your husband in service?
Well, he was in quite a while, and then he got killed. So,
On active duty?
yeah, sometime on, what was it, one of these things, training things they had. He was in the 12th Armored Division for a while. He was stationed down in New York when I met him, down at Armory in New York, and then after that he was sent down to Camp Campbell, Kentucky. He was associated with the 12th Armored Division. And I don't know just what happened, but
An accident?
yeah. Yeah. then, after a while, I got out before he was killed, though, because they were changing the WAAC, the WAAC. They made it a part of the regular Army, and they became the WACs. And that, if you got out then, well, then there was no, you know, you didn't get any demerits or anything, and it was honorable discharge there.
What other memorabilia do you have? I know she got a lot of pictures.
Well, these are all the pictures of the servicemen that have been, that were people that were killed in service, and some of them are the ones that are missing.
Now, they're people from Fulton County?
Yeah, these are people from Gloversville. And I'm not sure between, I got these kind of mixed up here. And then we had some that, there's some that didn't come back. And the prisoners of the war.
Now, did you go to high school with some of these people?
Oh, yes, most of them. Yeah. And this fellow used to live right back where I live now. He used to live on, right up on Montgomery Street. And this here is, I don't know if you know Winnie Baker that lives here, but this is her brother, and he was over in the war over there, and he was in a plane, and their plane got shot down. They never found him. And some of these other people were the same. Well, this fella is still around. He comes to our veterans group, Bill Rosa.
He was a prisoner of war.
I got people that are prisoners of war and people that lost their lives. And, you know, and I know there's a picture of people that just lived right around in our neighborhood here. So, but most of these people went to school with us. Frank probably knows them.
Can we cut for a minute?
Yep.
Recently, our senior group took a trip to Washington, and we went, they have a women's memorial down in Washington, and I went to visit that. We went to Arlington Cemetery, and this is a picture of the memorial. We went and we saw the wall that they have down there in Washington. And this has a place right over here inside where they put up the information. I haven't got much down there. But any woman that's been in service can send in their information and they'll put it on. It's very nice, but they've got a long ways to go on it. And no, we went and visited all different military sites down there. It was a nice trip. The veterans, I think it was, took it from here. So.
Very good.